How bad was the last offensive milestone event? What do you need to do to get through this Contagion Corp trashy grindy event? We're talking about that in this video. And the good news is you could get Magic's Midnight Suns costume for free. We're discussing all of these things and your questions from the mailbag because it is Monday, Valley Club. And if you're ready for all of that, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Club? Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you had a great weekend. And if you want to check out what I did this past weekend, check out the video that I had released earlier today about the jiu-jitsu tournament that I was just in. Had a fun experience. And if you want to check out my match breakdown, check out that video. But if you are here for the first time, welcome. Welcome to the ValleyFlyin channel. And hit that subscribe button if you want more great Marvel gaming and Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel gaming videos per week on this channel, covering mainly Marvel Strike Force and Marvel Snap. So hit that subscribe button for more of that. If you've already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. We're talking about a lot of Marvel Strike Force in this video, including all of your questions from the mailbag. We're going to talk about this offensive milestone. How much grinding did you need to do to get these abomination shards? Magic is getting a new costume for free. And of course, it is Monday, so we're going to all of your questions from the mailbag. But before we get into all that, let's go into the game and talk about this trashy Contagion Core event. And we have this in game. It is live right now. And what you need to do for this event, well, you need to earn Plaguemonger Orb fragments, and you could do that by spending campaign energy on the select Contagion campaign nodes. We're going to go take a look at what you need to do for that. There's also a web milestone, which includes a lot of blitz grinding to make up some of these points here. Now, where do you need to go for this event? Well, we need to go all the way down to some of these lower milestones. 51,000 is where you need to get right here to get this Panther pelt. That'll get you all of the monthly milestones for this Black Panther 1 million BC event that's going on right now. And it also gets you all of these vibranium meteorites that you need for this. Now, if you're shooting for this 51,000 target, you won't get any shards for Dr. Voodoo, who is farmable, Wong, who is also farmable, and then all the way down here, unless you're spending a ton, you're probably not going to get these Agatha shards. So your goal should be right here, milestone 34, and there's some okay things in this event before that, before you reach that milestone with that 51,000 points. All right, so that is where you need to get to. That is your goal. How do you get there? Well, the first thing we talked about is these campaign energy orbs, and to know which campaign nodes have these fragments for these orbs, go into this orb, go into the Plaguemonger orb here, guys. And to get these, you're going to click on this open button. If you don't have any orbs, it'll take you to this find button, and it'll help you locate all the places where you could get some of these Plaguemonger orb fragments. It's not available on all the nodes, so make sure you go here. And this, unfortunately, is where you should be spending all of your energy during this event. Now, there are some characters that people do need to farm. As you can see, some of the newer shards here for Dr. Voodoo. Kate Bishop is also here. We also have the new campaign nodes. We have Wong on that node. Star-Lord T'Challa is recently made farmable, but as we scroll down here, Wong is also there, who just got made farmable last week. We also have the node for Madeline Pryor down here, who also just got farmable last week. So it looks like at least the selection of nodes that we have to farm for these fragments has been increased, and that is a good thing. But where it is not a good thing is these milestones from the webs. Now, this first Panther milestone, like I said, not that bad. All you need to do is spend campaign energy for this, and it's not something outside the norm of what you would spending every day. But this is where it gets tricky. The viral vision milestone, this is for that Contagion Core event going on right now. And to get this, you're gonna need to get 36,000 points through blitzing. Now, each match, Scopely said each blitz match should give you an average of about 15 blitz credits per match. I think I got lucky with my opening matches here because I did 1 rotation so far, about at 4,000 points or so. So I think I must have got some lucky drops in those blitz matches, but average should be about 600 points per rotation. If you're doing those 40 rotations, if you're doing 40 wins, you know, sometimes you could get less, sometimes you get more, sometimes you could spend some blitz credits or some blitz energy to do more of these battles that you're going to win. but 40 rotations or 40 wins at 15 blitz credits per win. That is about 600 points per rotations, which means through the life of this event, you're gonna need about 60 rotations if you're just getting your blitz credits from blitzing. Now, there are a few other sources that you get blitz credits from, like your milestones, like your daily achievements. There's a few other places, but we're looking, if that is the case, at about 7 rotations per day for all of this stuff. So you're gonna need all of these to get all of these Plaguemonger orb fragments. You could spend a little more on your campaign energy, and if you're doing 4 refreshes, which is all of your 50 core refreshes, that should get you enough energy to get through the normal milestone in game. And that is assuming, though, that you complete all of these grindy blitz milestones here and you're getting all of these fragments. So again, where you need to get in game for these Contagion Corp milestones is all the way down to milestone 34. That 51,000 is where you need to get just to get here, guys. So it's going to be a combination of spending your campaign energy on those specific Plaguemonger orbs, and then also grinding your blitz off to get all of those blitz milestones. But that is what you need to do. Let's go check out the new costume for Magic. This was a blog post that was released earlier today. Let's go check out what the devs said about this. Greetings, Commander. Just like all of us here at Boundless, we know you can't get enough of the Marvel Universe. That's why we're partnering with our friends at 2K for the release of their upcoming game, Marvel's Midnight Suns. If you want to learn more about the exciting worlds of Marvel's Midnight Suns, make sure you head over to their official website to get their lowdown and pick up a copy of your games. To celebrate this crossover, Marvel Strike Force players will have an opportunity to unlock a slick new costume for Marvel Strike Force and Marvel Midnight Suns. So I wonder if this is just as slick as Yelena's slick new animation that I don't know what the heck it did. I don't know what it did. So I'm hoping that it's not as slick as that animation was. The Midnight Suns game will feature Iron Man bleeding edge armor, while Marvel Strike Force players can unlock Magic's Midnight Sun costume for free. Here's how to deck out your characters and threads for the game. All you need to do, pretty much log in. If you're logging in every day while this calendar is going on, you should get the Magic costume. Now, if you want to see what that calendar looks like, let's go into the inbox and check out the daily rewards. If you check out the daily rewards here, the Magic costume, getting it all the way down here. This is the Midnight Suns costume. It looks pretty good in game, and I'm glad that they're giving this costume away for free. I think it's kind of weird that they're promoting a game that probably has way less bugs than Marvel Strike Force. Is a Marvel game, so I'm not sure how much of their audience are losing by promoting this Midnight Suns game. It looks like it is gonna, the calendar will go from November 7th to December 23rd. Also rewarding of character shards for a 2-star Magic tier roster. So you have some time to claim this. And yeah, it looks like the calendar is gonna run for a long time in case you don't unlock it on day 1. It looks like it's gonna remain there. The Iron Man bleeding edge to outfit Tony Stark's armor in Marvel's Midnight Suns. Be on the lookout for the promo code in Marvel Strike Force that'll run from December 2nd to December 23rd. So it looks like there's more tie-ins with both of these games. It looks like they're going to trying to increase sales for both of these games. Let me know what you think of Magic's costume. Let me know what you think of this release meta. I think it's very friendly, just awarding it through a calendar. And it is Monday, so it's time for the Monday mailbag. First question of the week. Hey Valley, hope you're doing well. This is just a thought I had. Do you think A.I.M could be used as a counter for Undying? Scientist Supreme does flip up to 4 negative effects, and they do gain some effects from having negative buffs on them. I know they'd have to be leveled up pretty high. So the problem with this is maybe if you're using A.I.M to counter an Undying that's someone placed on defense, you might be able to use A.I.M if you're punching down enough and control the characters. The problem is Undying is more of an offensive team. So if somebody's placing A.I.M on defense to kind of counter the Undying, all you could do is get that ability block that Iron Man opens up with, block that Scientist Supreme, and yeah, it's pretty much game over. Kill the Scientist Supreme and it's done. Now, the good thing about these Undying, if you're using them, when you attack the enemies, a lot of zombie Iron Man's attacks are getting some of these enemy characters and having them attack each other, which is why they're able to punch up so much. So this may work if you're using them to fight an Undying that you see on defense. I'm not sure if placing A.I.M on defense would be a good counter to an offensive Undying, but Unless I'm missing something, let me know in the comments, guys, if I am missing something. But I don't think this would be a good counter, but I do like the theory crafting, something that the devs don't seem to want us to do at Marvel Strike Force anymore by the way they're releasing characters. All right, hope all is well in your part of the world. Same to you, my brother, and same to you, the rest of the Valley Club. Back here in Saskatchewan, Canada, love mentioning that you had to try and pronounce it. Yeah, I think I pronounced it right there. Now on a more serious note, when do we get to, when do we go to Marvel about how badly Scopely Boundless are ruining the Marvel IP? If I gotta be that dude, I'll be that guy. I would love some info on just where to reach out. So what this is, where players of other Marvel mobile games have reached out in the past is Bill Roseman, the head of the Marvel games. So if you want to reach out, that would be the person to do. I know back in the day when Contest of Champions had some issues, players were reaching out to Bill Roseman and reaching out to him. And I think, or from what I heard at least, he stepped in and helped the players and work with Kabam and make that a better experience. I know Scopely is really not digging themselves out of a hole. I've always said that Marvel Strike Force goes in waves. The games it's good and games it's bad, and it seems like we've been at a downtrend that just can't get any momentum to get that uptrend for a while. For me, that turning point for this was that Hulkbuster trashy grinding event, and it seems like they've never gained any momentum back. Every time they do a good thing, it's followed up by many bugs and a few bad things. So hopefully they do get some momentum back. But yeah, I think a lot of the game is in a bad place right now, and I don't know if the devs know what to do to solve it. The game is bad. The support is laughable. Just watch a Boylan video about how he's lost resources in the game and getting ignored. I've also missed out on support on many resources too. Yeah, and as you mentioned it, Red Stars went missing for a little while over the weekend. They did come back, but just the fact that they were gone for almost an entire day with Scopely saying nothing in a tweet or anything, just surprising to me how this game is so expensive, and it's getting more and more expensive. It's getting more and more grindy, but the quality and the bugs, the quality goes down, the bugs are going up, which is crazy. Game is such a bad state that I'm losing my digital family on a weekly basis. As a leader of an alliance in a super successful cluster Allspark, it's getting depressing. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but last week the second alliance that I was in disbanded. So I've been in a few different alliances over the lifespan of Marvel Strike Force, but the second one disbanded. Two have disbanded over the life of this game that I've been in for a long time, and that's just because players don't want to play anymore. It is depressing though, so hopefully something can be changed. Bill Roseman is the person to reach out to, guys, and if you want to see who he is, make sure you follow me on Twitter. He's one of the people that I follow, and hopefully we could send some tweets to him and get him to step in and correct a lot of the mess that Scopely is making in this game. The special offensive event is it only for Doom Raid rewards, because they didn't register any of my alpha or beta rewards when I claimed them. So this offensive event that you're speaking of was not a great event. And if we look at what the event did, this special offensive event, to score for that event, what you would need to do is get raid credits. And the individual nodes in your Greek raids do award raid credits. So doing those individual nodes will get them. But saving your mail from the Greek raids and opening them, if you look at the mail, there's no raid credits in the mail for your Greek raid reward. So that is why I didn't do this, or that is why it wasn't counting. But each individual node does award raid credits. Now, I only got to this point right here. I didn't save all my raid rewards. I didn't save it for a week. I forgot to save my season rewards. I forgot to not claim all my rewards, and this kind of event just kind of encourages hoarding. I wish I didn't open anything, and I may not be opening anything from this point on until there's an event announced with a specific date, because if I hoarded, I would have got some abomination shards. And let me know where you finished on this. I guess I could have spent more energy per day, more campaign energy per day doing more refreshes, but this is just an overall bad event, an overall trashy event. And it looks like the next event, and maybe not the Contagion Orbs, but the Vision Blitzing milestone on the web associated with this is pretty bad and pretty trashy. So yeah, another trashy event, but it looks like at least the rewards for that were working correctly, because yeah, the gamma raids didn't award that. And yeah, correct, not the gamma raids, only Doom Ultimates raids But if you look at the individual nodes, guys, for this previous event, it was awarding the credits there. All right, hey, Valley, halfway through the DD5 Cosmic, I'm still trying to decide who I take into Legendary. I have Morgan Le Fay, Red Hulk, Rogue, Omega Red. Those are a great 4. Who should I take in for my 5th? Now, I would look to a character for the future. So my previous recommendation was Jubilee, but now that we know the Deathseed team is coming, she loses a lot of value, so do the rest of the Axemen. So Jubilee is not one of my top selections anymore, but replacing Jubilee on that Raid Mutant team is gonna be another legendary character, Magneto. We know he got a rework, and he's gonna be a part of that team. We still don't have the kits for Archangel or that 5th yet, but we do that. Magneto is going to be a very important part of that team. So he would be my 5th, or my top recommendation for your 5th, based on who you already have. My next recommendation would be another legendary character that is going to get a little bit more use, and that would be Shuri. She's a part of that Wakandans, which means you're going to need her for the Chaos Theory. If you don't already have that 3-star, you're going to need her for that. Also, Wakandans, they got a rework for Crucible, so they're still a pretty good Crucible defense and Crucible offense team, although they're pretty easily countered by the Young Avengers. So you may want to not leave them on defense, but Shuri is going to be an important part of that team. Also, the new War Dogs coming out with Black Panther, 1 million BC, and Nakia added to that team, along with Black Panther and Okoye. So you're gonna get some value for Shuri, but my top pick, I know he's very expensive in terms of gear and legendary gear that you need and all the uniques, but Magneto would my top pick, Shuri be my second pick. The rest of the characters you could totally skip. You're not gonna need them, at least in the end game. Unless you really like one of those characters and you just enjoy playing with one of those characters, then this is a game. You got to do what makes you happy and is going to give you fun, even if it's not the best decision for getting into the meta and beating some of these meta teams. All right, hey, Valley, can't believe they actually gave everyone 20,000 gear tier 14 and 15 orbs who is willing to spend money on this buggy game. It is pretty crazy. The bug that happened this past week with over millions and millions of orb fragments that they were selling for 20 bucks equated to 20,014 orbs and 20,015 orbs from those uniques that we have in the store. This is a huge FU to the free-to-play community. They should compensate everyone for their mistakes. With 20,000 orbs each, these bottlenecks are resolved for years. Now, I know it seems like years, it seems like it takes years to get these, but if we know from these catalysts, they're probably not going to last that long. It'll probably last for a month or two, and then we'll be out of this stuff again. But yeah, there's a lot of orbs, and if they're going to adjust things in the game to not really compensate for this, but to compensate for their errors on this, to make it harder for us to grind, then yeah, it may not be years that we're using this. But I get what you're saying, brother. It means everyone who spends 20 bucks on the game will be able to level every new character more easily to gear 15, yes. And to make it ideally right, this should give everyone an additional 20,000 on both orbs. Doesn't matter at this point if you have 20 or 40K, but at least we kind of reestablish balance for all players. I agree with you 100%. At this point, the weekend is done. Haven't heard from Scopely about this issue. Hopefully they still give us more communication about this issue, because this is a major imbalance. Spending a little money, 20 bucks on this game, is going to put you at a very different place in Marvel Strike Force since that bug than someone that doesn't spend money and get all those extra orbs. So how are they going to make this game even for players that spend and don't spend? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do anything, but yeah, it is a major discrepancy right now. I don't know if they care. Scopely hasn't shown a commitment to game integrity, even though this is a quote from one of their blog posts here: maintaining the equity and competitive integrity of the game is the utmost importance, and this is why the offer will be made to eligible players for a limited time. It's one of the biggest lies I've ever read from them. At least they could be honest and shit right. Making matter no matter what is the utmost importance, and this is why the offer will be made available to eligible players for a limited time. Yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do. Hopefully this issue is not done. Hopefully we get more clarity in it, and we hopefully will get more ways to make it equitable for free-to-play and spenders. But if it doesn't, guys, again, like the last question, Bill Roseman is the person to reach out to. If this game, if Marvel Strike Force is making you feel negative about the Marvel IP and Marvel in general and Disney, let him know, because he is actually, if he gets enough of these messages, he can actually do something. And like I said in the previous question, the word on the street is he did something for Contest of Champions there. Hey, ValleyFlyin, I am beginning to think that Scopely is smarter than we think. I believe this is the third or fourth time they put up an offer that was too good to be true, and then pull it down to make pull it down, to pull it and had to pull it make down. I thought I read that incorrect. Let me try to read this again. I'm beginning to think that Scopely is smarter than we think. I believe this is a third or fourth time they put up an offer that was too good and had to pull it and make down. Yeah, it still doesn't make sense. All right, anyway. Every time that they've decided to put it back and write a blog post about it, my theory is that they're doing it on purpose, and here's why. They have a history of putting an offer back up, so why not leave it? I know sometimes they had it. I know the original Gold Gate back, I believe it was 2020. I believe that was when we had a lot of issues. Hey, ValleyFlyin, I'm beginning to think that Scopely is smarter than we think. I believe this is the third or fourth time they put an offer that was too good and had to pull it make down. I guess there's just a typo there, but yeah, I had to pull it down. Every time they decide to put it back and write a blog post about, my theory is that they're doing it on purpose, and here's why. There's a history of putting the offer back up, so why not just leave it? Now, I know that with the Gold Gate, the initial Gold Gate, which I believe was back in 2019, I don't think that they put the offer back up. I know they did it in different ways. You could still spend, and through like a calendar or something, you were still able to get some offers. And I think with the most recent one, with all these catalysts, they did put it right back up. But yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think with these more recent ones, they have been putting it back up. They pull in the right blogs to draw everyone's attention to the offer. It's for a different bottleneck. That's actually a good damning piece of evidence towards Scopely. And each time the offer has gotten more expensive, I don't know if it's gotten more expensive. Now, the difference with this one is it looks like it is available on a web store only, which if you're using Amazon coins for your normal purchases, I guess that would make it a little more expensive. Now, I think I agree with Magic. I think you're giving them too much credit. I think they're just that stupid, that incompetent, that they keep making these errors over and over and over again, and they're just too damn lazy to check their math on any of the things that get pushed out to the public. So I would like to believe that they're playing this 4D chess and making these decisions and that's very, very smart. But judging by what I've seen in the Envoy chats when these issues go up and the amount of freaking out that the community managers have, I would say I'm leaning towards that it is mistakes. Although there could be someone at the top that's like, yeah, just push this out and not telling anybody. But I think these are mistakes. I think they're just that dumb that they keep doing these things over and over. I don't think that they're playing next level stuff here, guys. All right, Valley, greetings from Singapore. Greetings back from the US, my brother. Do you think Scopely has made an oversight in terms of tags for certain characters? Why does 2099 and Noir not have the Web Warrior tag despite them being Web Warriors? Hulkbuster is missing the Power Armor tag despite him literally being a suit of armor. Or even the latest character like Starlet T'Challa missing the Wakanda tag despite coming from Wakanda. It takes away to the immersion from the game. I agree that it does take away from the immersion from the game. It also takes away some theory crafting. But the first instance of this was when they introduced that military tag back when War was introduced. Punisher, despite being in the military, did not get that military tag initially. He has it now, but initially he did not have that tag. And the reason they said is they know that he's a military character. His character does have military experience, but they did that for game balance reasons. So they're doing this for game balance reasons at the sacrifice of immersion from the game and immersion from the world. So I'm not sure what is the right decision. That's the reason they're doing it. Like I said, I'm not sure what is the right and wrong way to do it, but that is the reasoning why. It's just for more game balance, even though I think I would like to have that immersion and that theory crafting to mix and match different teams and not just use these cookie cutter teams and the cookie cutter tags that they have in the game. I would like to see it expanded a little more, but that is a reason why. All right, couple quick questions. How big does my Gamma, Dark Hunters, Weapon X, or Infinity Watch need to be compared to the enemy dirty heroes for hire in war to consistently beat them? Are there particular members that I should gear higher than others in each team? All right, so let's talk about Gamma. Gamma, you could punch up against Gamma against the heroes for hire. The big characters on that team, Red Hulk and Hulk, I think, are going to be the most important, although Abomination is also pretty important on that team as well. Dark Hunters, you could do some massive punch downs. You could actually, I said punch ups, excuse me, which means that the team that you're facing is higher power than where you are. Now, you weren't able to do that nor before the rework that added Mordo to the Dark Hunters tag and all that stuff. I was able to do a lot of punch across it, but since they reworked Mordo, since they reworked Morbius, that team is a lot more consistent for its heroes for hire, especially Elsa. Elsa's ultimate is a lot better. So you could do some big punch ups with the Dark Hunters. The important characters there obviously going to be Ghost Rider. Elsa is also very, very important in that team as well. And Morbius is one of the more important members of the Dark Hunters when you're facing heroes for hire. The Weapon X, you could punch up huge with that team. So important members there are going to be Omega Red, obviously. Sabretooth is very important. Wolverine is also very important, but Lady Deathstrike, I think, is the second most important on that team. Silver Samurai, you also need that taunt, getting a stun there, very, very important. But yeah, you could punch up against some big heroes for hire with a Weapon X. And Infinity Watch, now they came along before heroes for hire, so they're not going to do super well against heroes for hire unless you're punching down big, which means that your Infinity Watch needs to be a lot bigger than the heroes for hire that you're facing, because you need to kill them 3 times. They don't have a way to deal with all those extra revives that's happening. Gamma does. Dark Hunters kind of do, Dark Hunters do. Weapon X does. Infinity Watch doesn't. So you're gonna need some massive punch downs with them. All right. Also, there are particularly members higher that should be. Adam Warlock should be high. Gamora should be high. Those are the important members on that Infinity Watch team. Currently ignoring Silver Samurai. Might want to put a little bit into him. I don't think he's the most important member of that team, but a little into him is good. Nebula, Phyla, and Moondragon. Back in the day when full Infinity Watches were all over the meta, I would say build all of 3 of these characters up. But now that they're kind of fallen out of the meta, you could get by with a low Phyla, Moondragon, Morbius, or Phyla, Moondragon. But Morbius, I think you do need to build them a little more for those Dark Hunters to work properly. I know that initial move, that chain that he does, putting trauma on everybody, bleeding everybody, that's pretty important. So I feel the Morbius you should build up a little, but you could hold off on Nebula, Phyla, and Moondragon, and then Silver Samurai. As long as you have a really big Omega Red and can survive long enough to get that ultimate off on these dirty heroes for hire, you should be good, brother. Let's smash it, brother. What is up, Thrawn? All right, level 58, about to unlock Cosmic Crucible. Spend roughly $70 on $5 off for here and there. And that $20 one might be, who knows if Scopely will let us keep it, considering the offer is taken down prematurely. So yeah, since they did that, they have put that offer back up. Unfortunately, it's only on the web store, so you can't use Amazon coins to save even more money on that. You would have to use the web store, but it is back up there as of this weekend. I think they're going to leave it up for a little while longer. I bought the $50 character starts to unlock and give my roster a boost with more tunes coming. I feel like it's Pokemon, gotta catch them all. I really don't want this to be an endless money pit, and it can. Marvel Strike Force can be a huge trap. Could be a huge money pit if you get into that FOMO mindset. Question for a newer player, level 58. What's your advice on gotta catch them all mentality? Do I need to catch them all? No, you do not. Do I buy the deals, farm them, open earn orbs, wait for years? For example, Agatha to become available. If I don't buy them, it could literally take forever to get a tune and complete the squad full synergy. So if you're a new player nowadays, you got to remember that this is a 4-year-old game, and to get into the meta, you're gonna need to compress that time frame. Normally, you could do that by spending a lot of money, but even in Marvel Strike Force, if you're spending a ton of money, you're not gonna compress every single time frame that is in this game. So you're still going to be behind the meta, and that should kind of be your expectation coming to this. As far as catching them all, you don't need to catch all the characters there. You do need to get the meta characters, and you may need to forgo some certain goals that longer time players are having, like chasing Apocalypse, like doing those Doom raids, like getting to some of the higher campaign nodes, especially like this new heroes and upcoming villains campaign, the hard nodes of these campaigns. But you can still have fun by building your characters that you like, getting to alliance, watching your roster progress, watching you build your roster. That is, I think that's one of the appeals of some of these hero collectors, is just watching a roster get stronger and stronger. At least for me it is. As far as when these characters are going to be available, though, it could be years. It took a long time for Call Obsidian to become available back when the Black Order was meta. It took a long time for Moondragon to become farmable when the Infinity Watch was meta. We still, after over a year, don't have the Eternals as farmable, and they are not meta, but they're not the best team, but they're still in the meta. But yeah, still not farmable. So could take a while. I would just try to be patient with all that. That is how to get the remove that mentality. If you do want to get all the stuff and get into the meta, just realize that you would need to spend a lot of money to do that. And if that's something you want to do, then cool. If you don't want to do that, then you would need to shift what you want in this game. And if you are making purchases, if it is available in your region, I would recommend Amazon coins, because you could save up to 20% off when you make that larger purchase of coins. You could save up to 20% off of all of your in-game purchases on anything on the Amazon App Store, including Marvel Strike Force. Question 2, I made my own alliance because so much dead weight. Now I have 8 out of 24 active raid players and 5 to contribute to the alliance experience. It's a real struggle to get anyone to join my alliance Discord to coordinate raid times, so they're not as into the game as me. Should I join an alliance or keep inviting others, especially with MSF.GG fully integrated now? Thanks, and keep on smashing. That question is really up to you. Obviously, the faster solution would be to join an alliance, get into the group, and play with people that are, you know, around your same interest, that have around the same interest level as you do in the game. I've found it very unenjoyable when my alliance mates were way more into the game than I was, and not enjoyable when they're way less into the game than I was. So you want to try to find an alliance that puts around the same time, like time commitment, as about as obsessive as you are in the game. So if you're casual, join a casual alliance. If you're hardcore, join a hardcore alliance. So I think that's the main thing. And whether you want to wait it out to see if you can recruit more players, or you just want to say scrap it, let's go to another alliance that has all that organization, that has it done, it is really up to you. I've avoided alliance leadership purposefully just because the amount of time it takes. It may be easier now with MSF.GG, but you just got to ask your question: how long are you willing to wait? And if you don't get your lines full and really, you know, doing these raids and stuff in that time frame, what is your option there? So I would set a timeline for yourself. You know, if you could do it in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever you're comfortable with, then keep building your alliance. It is going to take a long time to fill these slots, especially with some players leaving the game. So I guess it just comes down to your patience level, my brother. It is totally up to you what you want to do. Greetings, Lord of Valley, House of Fly. How art thee? I've received some solid questions from the massive, and I've traveled many days to bring you these messages to answer the best of them to the best of your abilities, my good lad. What a recommendation for T4 and ISO 8 for Magneto and Psylocke. Also, is a new Deathseed team worth heavily investing in? So the new Deathseed team, I'd say yes. They're going to be the new raid team. If you're looking to unlock Apocalypse, they're going to be the unlock for Apocalypse. So I think they are the team that you should be investing in as far as mutant raids right now. Don't invest in the Axemen anymore. Let's go take a look at their ISO 8 and T4 recommendations. Actually, I might not give an ISO 8 recommendation, but we'll take some T4 recommendations. First up is Magneto, and we see his basic T4 right here, and that is gonna give more damage to primary and secondary targets. In raids, if the character has 3 or more Deathseed allies, you're gonna prolong negative effects by 1 on each target. I think down the road that could be a good T4 in the raids, but obviously without a full Deathseed team, you could definitely hold off on that one right now. But maybe before you take them in the raids and a full Deathseed team, that would be a good T4. This special right here, 30% damage to primary target, removing all positive effects, and that is a very, very good one. Instead of clearing 2 random positive effects, you're removing all of them. I think that is a no-brainer. Hit the special, put that T4 in Magneto, and in raids, applying ability blocks not for 1 turn on the primary target, but for 2 turns. So that's a winner right there. Get that T4 in Magneto special. We also have his ultimate, which puts some damage to the primary adjacent targets. That is a totally skippable T4. And last but not least is his passive, and this is to make sure that you can do his ultimate over and over and over whenever you start the raids. On raids, if the character has 4 more Deathseed allies, generate 5 ability energy for self. And again, because he's not going to have 5 Deathseed allies for now, you could probably skip this for now. But when we get Archangel in the game, when we get the rest of this Deathseed in the game, you're going to want to do that T4. That might be the most important T4 on his entire kit. But when we get a full Deathseed team. And we also have Psylocke here. Let's take a look at her T4s and her basic here, Psy-Knife. She's gonna get more piercing, defense down for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. So that's a pretty good basic. And if we look at this safety there, the assist and counter chance, that's gonna also apply it for 2 turns, which means that she could be a solid striker there. Magneto would also be a good candidate for that striker with his safety here that does all this piercing damage. And then in raids, he could prolong negative effects by 1 on each character when you put that T4 in there. So striker could be a good class for both of them. Obviously, for a lot of these characters, if you don't have them built up enough, one of the initial T4 recommendations for these characters is skirmisher, just to get them a little more focus. All right, this special for Psylocke, more piercing damage, 40% more piercing, more bleeds for 2 turns. And then change to 5 adjacent targets. Before that, you're changing to 3 adjacent targets. This is a good one, but you can definitely skip this one right now if you are T4 starved. Next is the ultimate. You're getting more piercing, reducing the speed bar on the primary target by 25%. This could be a very, very good one. You may be able to skip this at least for now, but I think down the road, removing that 25% speed bar may be big. So I think you might want to consider that one at least down the road. Maybe not right now because we don't have a full Deathseed in the game. And then as far as her passive, on spawn, always applying evade, counter, and deflect. And on spawn, Deathseed allies also gain evade, counter, and deflect. So I think that's a good one. You're gonna want to get these evades and counters. Just gives them a little more survivability, gives them a little more attack, deflects, help them prevent some negative effects being applied and start to reduce some damage. So that is what I'd recommend. As far as Psylocke, it looks like she has a very good ultimate. Looks like she has a very good passive, but neither of them look as important as Magneto's T4s there. So that is what I would recommend for Psylocke, brother, and I hope that helps you. All right, let's move on to the next question here. Final question. Who do you think would be the final 3 Eternals? Icarus and Cersei are so amazing duo. If they had a full 5-person team, they would be in the meta for 2 years possibly. Now, I think initially the devs were thinking of releasing 5 Eternals, making them a 5-man team. But on one of the Envoy calls that we had, I think they were asked about this, and they said, yeah, we didn't plan for Icarus and Cersei to be so overpowered on that team, and we may not introduced them. And this was last year that they said this. Just for information, back in the day when there were data mining about the Eternals, which ones were coming to the game, this was before Icarus and Cersei were even in the game. Some of the rumors of some other Eternals that they were working on were Ajax, Kingo, and Fastos. So I don't know if that would still be the plan of them coming to the game, because I know they have a lot of characters that are done, they have character models that are fully built, they're just not added to the game. So if those were done all the way back then, I think they would still be candidates to come to the game. Although as far as marketing and everything, the hype for Eternals was kind of past. Unless they're doing an Eternals 2, I don't see them going back and releasing that. I think there's other characters that they can release. But if they were to do a full Eternals team, Ajax, Kingo, and Fastos would be my picks, just based on some of the rumors that we had over a year ago. Greetings, ValleyFlyin. How cool would it be if that claim all button just disappeared? Oh, super cool. It would be barely an inconvenience if they just removed that, because I don't know any good, at least for me, that button is done. I know some people don't hoard, they claim all their stuff right away, and for some of these larger web milestones, like if we go into the game right now, because I just claimed some of these web milestones here, yeah, we got a bunch of these here. For some of these, series, it would be very, very helpful to get those web milestones and claim them all. But for some of the web milestones that have energy in there, it just would be a hassle. So I don't think it's benefiting anybody. I wish you could turn it off in a game screen, and it would be super cool if it could disappear, my brother. But that is it. That is the Monday mailbag. Hopefully your question got answered. And if you want to get your question featured on one of these Monday mailbags, which we do every single Monday, make sure you are a member of Discord. The link is down below. If you haven't already checked out the ValleyFlyin social media channels, check me out on Twitter, Instagram. That's where I'm most active. We also post when we have videos on Facebook. And I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully your question got answered. And hopefully you're staying strong and are grinding through a lot of blitz, guys. Hopefully you finish this event and get everything you need for this Black Panther 1 million BC event. That is it though, guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Have a good one, guys.